Another one bites the dust. Oh. Hi, I'm Sam Tucker, and welcome to How to Avoid Copyright Strikes on your YouTube channel without knowing how. And don't worry, it's simple. So you may have heard some hubbubaloo recently about some pretty big YouTubers having their videos and even entire channels taken down over some pretty suspect copyright claims. You see, when you upload something to YouTube, if an automated system known as Content ID, or if a copyright holder manually detects some copyrighted material in your video, then you may receive a copyright claim against that video. Now this could lead to you not being able to monetize that video, all the way up to that video being taken down and a copyright strike being put against your account. The three of those and you're out. This is, of course, unless you're part of a very small protected group of YouTubers known as the YouTuber Army, which I can assume only includes PewDiePie, Shaggy, and of course everyone's favourite Bob Saget. Now with these consequences in play, it's important that your videos comply with something called fair use, which means you're allowed to use copyrighted material provided you follow some certain guidelines. So let's have a look at the 4 factors of fair use to keep your channel safe. Before we do that, before we get into that, you just want to first make sure that you're not receiving false claims from companies who have nothing to do with the copyrighted material in question. Take some of my claims, for example, from companies like Apple and HBO. Oh no, they're fine. The 4 factors of fair use. Number 1, the purpose and character of the use. Now your use of the copyrighted material needs to be transformative, adding a new expression or meaning to the original material. Again, we'll use some of my videos that have been claimed as an example. Take, for instance, my Game of Thrones classic, Ode to Robert, where even though I significantly transformed the media by singing Robert, Nada over the Game of Thrones opening sequence, it was still claimed by HBO, which is that's actually pretty fair. Number 2, the nature of the copyrighted work. Using material from primarily factual works is more likely to be fair than those of purely fictional ones. I guess this is because it's hard to copyright facts, and news stories are generally covered under fair use. Take a look at this video I made about a volcano eruption in Papua New Guinea. Now my video was claimed by the owner of the copyright footage even though I was covering a news story that just cut to a real world event 13 times. Number 3, the amount and substantiality of the portion used. Using small bits of the material is more likely to be fair than using big portions. But take for instance my Bendgate video, where I featured a 5-second clip from Unboxing Therapy's video. Now even though it was a very short clip and I was critiquing his video, it was still claimed. Now I'm not suggesting that Louis himself instigated the whole claiming process, but then again, can you trust someone who makes a living out of just taking things outside of a box? Just saying. Number 4, the effect of the use on the potential market or value of the copyrighted work. So will your use harm the potential for the copyright owner to make a profit? Consider 2 Apple parodies that I made that were claimed. Combined, their advertising revenue would have netted me something in the region of $30. Now these parodies may have otherwise hindered Apple's ability to profit from their products. Subsequently, last year's revenue, they only made $200 billion. Fighting the claim. If your video meets each of these 4 factors for fair use, then you're more than likely covered by fair use and you can dispute the claim. Whereby, if you're ultimately successful, then you'll regain full control over the video and be able to monetize it like normal. If you're unsuccessful though, good luck to you. Which leads me to my biggest secret in this overly one-sided, guilty until proven innocent, no consequences for the other team system, which is maybe just let it slide. Because hear me out, if you're a small YouTuber and a claim against one of your videos just unmonetizes it and doesn't actually remove it or put a negative mark against your account, then is it really worth the $10 that you would have made on that video to go through the whole process? Yes, you could argue for the sake of principle, but sadly if something does go wrong, and it can, and the claim I use fails, then I could lose my entire channel. And I'm not big enough on other platforms to kick up a big enough stink to get it reinstated, which means that SAMTIME would just fade away into the anus of time. Whimsy. And that depressingly, is how to avoid copyright strikes without knowing how to avoid copyright strikes. I'm Sam Tucker. Stay funky, everyone. But if you use one of my videos in any way, shape or form, I will hunt you to the end of... Subscribe today! Funky time! Hey guys, if you want to help me recoup the $20 the big companies took, then check out patreon.com/SAMTIME and become a supporter of the show. You get episodes early and cool badges before they too disappear into the anus of time. Oh, just wanted to add, if you actually get a copyright strike on your account, not just a claim, but a strike, and you think it's wrong because you're covered by fair use, definitely fight that. Totes def. High definition. All right, cool runnings, guys. This is probably because it's harder to copyright facts and, well, news stories are covered over copyright. If your video meets each of the 4... But sadly, if something does go wrong, and it can, and I make a